Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the TTV News with some last events in our province, and now we come into the story. Ladies and gentlemen, on the April the 1st, Tay Ninh Provincial Party Committee held the 5th conference. Mr. Nguyễn Thành Tâm, member of the Party Central Committee, Secretary Provincial Party Committee, Chairman of Provincial People's Council, chaired the conference.
The Secretary of the Provincial Party Committee requested the party organization at all levels to continue implementing, grouping, and organizing the implementation of the resolution of the 11th Congress of the Provincial Party Committee associated with the implementing of the resolution of the 30th National Congress of the party. Continue to contribute to the action plan of the Provincial Party Committee associated with local reality and ensuring feasibility. The Secretary of the Provincial Party Committee also asked all levels of party committees and organizations to focus on implementing in depth the party building tasks. In particular, it is necessary to renew and improve the efficiency of education and propaganda of the party's resolutions, especially the content that's in line with the local practical situation, in order to create consensus and arouse aspirations for development throughout the political system and the people, to create a strong driving force to serve the task of promoting socio-economic development in the locality and unit. An important content directed by the Secretary of the Provincial Party Committee is that the Election Steering Committee at all levels should focus on directing the steps of implementing the election closely on schedule in accordance with the provisions of the law, focusing on propaganda and mobilizing people about the responsibility to participate in the election associated with the work of ensuring security, political security.
And ladies and gentlemen, to ensure the safety for the forces participating in prevention of the COVID-19 epidemic on the borderline, on April the 1st, Vietnam border guard, the Army Medical Department and Hospital number 175 under the Ministry of Defense has administered COVID-19 vaccine shots to border guards and staff at the border posts and gates in the southern province of Tay Ninh, in which giving priority to injecting the border forces involved in controlling the border gates and blocking points. According to the plans, the COVID-19 vaccination drive for border guards in the southwest borderlines will take place in 6 provinces from April the 1st to the 30th. Tay Ninh is the locality where the first vaccination is implemented. The vaccination campaign will be divided into several days, with a total of 894 border guards will receive the vaccines. Tay Ninh border guard was selected as the first unit of the southern branch by Army Medical Department and the 175 hospital. It has a very real meaning being vaccinated at this time creates more motivation and confidence for the border guards to feel secure when excited to defend the task of border protection and anti-epidemic in the coming time. Colonel Nguyễn Tài Sơn, Political Commissioner of the Border Guard Division of Tay Ninh Province, said that health workers are prepared for provide timely treatment for those suffering post-vaccination allergic reactions. The health condition of border guards who receive vaccine shots will be retained in the electronic medical records, and they were given a COVID-19 vaccination certificate. Immunization facilities include hospitals, grassroots medical centers, mobile inoculation stations where doctors and nurses receive comprehensive competencies based training for vaccine administration policies and procedures before administering vaccines. Its location will inject below 100 people for vaccination sections so that medical workers can carry out careful screening, review the immunization history of each person. Colonel Sơn said that over 1 year, border forces have implemented different preventive measures against COVID-19 pandemic in the 240 kilometers borderline in Tay Ninh province. Recently, the pandemic has developed complicated in Cambodia, and hence, the border soldiers have made conscious efforts to patrol along trails and quarantine unlawful immigrants. And also on April the 1st, 2021, the Department of Education and Training of Tay Ninh Province coordinated with the Provincial Labor Union to hold a conference to propagate the election of the 15th National Assembly deputies and the People Councils at all levels for the term of 2021 to 2026.
More than 100 officials, teachers, and staff of the school units heard the standing vice chairman of the Provincial Labor Union, Ms. Phang Thị Hồng Đào introducing contents for propaganda work on election, such as guiding regulations on election of deputy to the National Assembly and the People's Councils at all levels, orienting the work of information and propaganda on the election of deputy to the 50 National Assembly and the election of deputy to the People's Council at all levels for the term 2021 and 2026.
And according to the Ministry of Industry and Trade, the management and development of industrial joints and clusters has been unanimous from planning, establishment, expansion to investment in infrastructure construction. The progress of investment in industrial joints and cluster infrastructure construction in recent years has been too slow due to the difficulties in accessing capital and complex procedures on compensation and site clearance, as well as confusion over the regulations on selecting investors. For the government, the legal documents for mechanism and policies for industrial joints and cluster management have been completed. This includes Government Decree No. 68 of 2017 on management and development of industrial joints and cluster and legal documents for planning, investment, construction, lands, and environment. Based on these policies, localities have mapped out planning, construction, expansion, and investment in industrial joints and cluster infrastructures. In order to effectively develop industrial joints and cluster in the province, the Provincial People Committee is responsible for accuracy of reported data, area size, proposed location for adjustment and supplementation of the planning, industrial joints and cluster, ensure the sustainability, feasibility, linkage, synchronization and integration of the plan to adjust and supplement the planning for development of industrial joints and cluster in the province in the content of the provincial planning in the period of 2021 to 2030, according to the provision of the law on planning, to avoid disputes and complaints in the process of implementing the plan. And according to the Department of Agriculture and Rural Development, by 2030, our country is expected to gain about 8 to 10 billion US$ from shipping fruits and vegetable support, with revenue of processed products accounting for at least 30% of the total. Under a project to develop the fruits and vegetable process sector during the 2021 to 2030, recently approved by the Prime Minister, Vietnam targets to attract investment about 50 to 60 fruits and vegetable processing establishments and build several modern groups and enterprises who have good competitive capacity. With a view to achieving the goals, Vietnam will invest heavily to improve processing ability, give priority to processing key fruits and vegetables which have high values, set up material choice, and develop markets for the products. The project lays stress on the necessity to build processing and packaging facilities and storage warehouse and install suitable equipment to reduce post-harvest losses. Besides, it is crucial to attract investment to ensure that all of the production facilities will be well equipped with necessary machines by 2030. In addition, the country will also establish specialized fruits and vegetable cultivating areas, which are able to provide from 5 to 6 million tons of high-quality products for processing by 2030. And ladies and gentlemen, according to the Vietnam Organic Agriculture Association, the development rate of organic farming is increasing. In 2017, the country has about 76,000 hectares of organic agriculture. By 2020, this figure increased by more than 450,000 hectares. Meanwhile, in the Tay Ninh province, in recent years, agricultural production in the province has deployed strongly in both area size and output of products, diversified in types to supply for the market. According to the statistics of the Department of Agriculture and Rural Development of Tay Ninh, by the end of 2020, the whole province has about 35 hectares of membrane houses, net houses in agricultural production. Mr. Ngô Văn Quảng, living in Upchăn Hamlet, Hiệp Thành Commune, Gò Dầu District, probably invested more than 500 million Vietnam dong to build a membrane system with an area of 2,000 square meters serving for growing cucumis melon. According to Mr. Quảng, when he first started growing cucumis melon, many local farmers assessed that his cucumis melon would not develop because another farmer fertilized mow grass and spray pesticides on their cucumis melon plants grows, whereas none of those is applied on his. He says that the grass layer is the habitat for insects and natural enemies, create a natural balance without harming the cucumis melon plant. Although the productivity is not high compared to other cucumis melon grows, in return, it helps him reduce the cost of pesticides. If we produce in the greenhouse, it is better than outside. If it is outside, there are many diseases. There is lots of pesticides. While planting here is reduce the cost of pesticides and diseases also decrease. Thanks to production in the greenhouse system, Mr. Quang has been more proactive in sowing seeds without having to depend on the weather factors and not having to worry about the pests and diseases. And 1 year, Mr. Quang has about 4 crops with a profit of about 300 million Vietnam dong. And according to the Department of Agriculture and Rural Development, the global consumption market organic products has grown steadily with an estimated scale for more than $80 billion per year. Consumers in developed countries such as the US, Japan, and the EU are now very fond of organic products, not only because of their superiority in health protection, but also because of their contribution to the protection of ecological environment and minimization of impacts on climate change. Therefore, the export potential for organic agricultural products remains tremendous. In recent years, the biotechnology industry has developed strongly and widely applied to meet the requirements for organic agriculture. And for organic agriculture to develop sustainably, the agricultural sector needs to choose suitable growing areas, prioritizing the development of low-cost specialties. High-tech agricultural development is determined as a top priority in economic development of Tay Ninh province. In the coming time, the Tay Ninh province will continue to create favorable conditions for mechanisms and policies for the farmers to change their use purposes, land create conditions for enterprises and cooperatives to invest in agriculture, encourage the development of farms, increase production farms, from commodity production zones to focus on promoting the advantages of its locality. And the province also strengthened the close link between production, processing, and consumption of products to step up the restructuring of agricultural production in the direction of high added value on the basis of the application of scientific and technical advances, especially building agricultural production models in membrane houses and net houses. And that's all for the TTV News today. Thank you for joining us and see you more next time.